welcome. It's a good intro. I just wanted to take this webinar to kind of chat with people and just talk about different subjects, but also go about one of the things that I've been working on. So I did this thing. It's this one. So I've been testing. And can you see my screen good, or do I have to flip it? Because like I know last time it was good, even though I see it flipped. I just want to make sure. So when I do, okay, good, because it looks weird on my end. Okay. Um, so yeah, so one of the things I've been kind of, I wouldn't say studying. Um, I guess you can say testing with is the different optimizations in MT5. And the reason why I have been doing that, it's because you see a lot of inconsistencies, right? Like every single time we have an update or something, we always try to like make it more consistent, right? Like you got the parameters, you got core labs, you got core engine, you got all these things that make it more consistent. But the thing is that we're still testing through MT5, which is fine, right? I mean, it's a huge proprietary, software that we can't replicate. That's insane, right? That would be insane. But hint, hint, at some point, I will want to make my own that we can all use, and it's fast. We can test in 1 hour for 6 months instead of days, right? Anyways, one of the things that we struggle with, and I think everyone that tests on MT5, is genetic testing. And we've talked about this a million times. And, I made the video about like the million optimizations and all that stuff. One of the most important ones is which criterion are you optimizing with? We've always optimized with balance max. So I was thinking of the idea of trying different criterions. So why have I been doing that? The reason why, it's because we're seeing this, like, we're seeing results, right? But then we're also seeing dips, and then we're seeing results and we're seeing dip. We're seeing results and we're seeing dip, and sometimes dip again, right? And that is because obviously market condition changes, and there's a lot of other factors in it, right? That's just probabilities in trading. Even as a manual trader, you're still going to go through that, but we have an edge because we are algo traders. We have tools that can help us be better, and it depends on those settings and what we use to really nail down our edge even more, right? So I've been experimenting with Sharp ratio, right? We already use Sharp ratio like in our strategy, like in our background process. There's a lot of like Sharp ratio equations that happen in order to find the most stable one, right? But the problem that I noticed, and I'm not too sure about this is just an experiment that I'm running. The interesting part about it is that how we're testing currently, we're starting with another criteria which just says, hey, look for the highest profit. I don't care what it is, just give me the highest profit. And then through the process of like the core automation, we're saying, well, now take all these and just find the best Sharp ratio, find all these equations. There's like literally like 50 different things that the background's doing to mix and match and find, right? But we're starting with the equation kind of off in the sense, right? Not off in a bad way, but it could be better. And that's when I've been testing with Sharp ratio, okay? So this is what I mean, okay? So when MT5 optimizes, it picks the best by result, right? And those results are based on your settings that you're choosing, right? Because you're telling it, hey, find the balance max, or find the highest profit, or find whatever you're choosing, right? But when we're focusing on balance max, which is what we've always done, we're saying, hey, give me the highest profit. I don't care about anything else. We'll figure that out later, right? So already we're telling MT5, hey, choose from this pool of like the highest profited, set files, and then we optimize from there, right? So what does that, what happens there? Well, what happens is that you are prioritizing set files that had a great month, but not necessarily had a great past 2 months. We're just like looking for the highest profit. So while that might be good, right, for short term, it's not good for long term, because think about it. You have something that gives you 20% in the out of sample testing, but the previous month gave you 2%. And you see, even if you open the CSV, the graph that we generate automatically, it shows you like a huge blue bar, and then the other ones are like tiny. And sometimes you have negative, and you're like, that doesn't look, I mean, it's what it gave me, right? I'm going to run it. The reality is that yes, we do have processes in the background that remove the drawdown ones that are terrible, like the ones that have a losing streak, all that, like the curve, the shape of it. There's a lot of like algorithm happening in the background. With Sharp ratio, if we were to switch to that, what we're doing is saying, hey, MT5, with this strategy, find me the one that's the most consistent. It might not have the biggest wins, right? We're not talking about huge wins because that's what balanced max is. But we are focusing on consistency over the months, right? Over the weeks. It usually discards all the ones that just had one lucky month or one inconsistent month, right? And it wants things to be leveled, right? So in MT5, that's what I've been testing, right? And that's what I've been kind of really spending a lot of time on because yes, we have the system. Yes, we have the strategies. We have the EA. We have everything. Everything works fine, right? But there's always one thing. And I've always said that every time I have a webinar, like there's always one thing because you're never going to figure it out, but you can always add things to get you closer to that. And this is one of those things. So let me just show you this. Okay. So this is what Sharp ratio versus balanced max will look like. Okay. So this is probably most people in this community, including myself, right? Because I consider myself part of you guys because I use the same things, right? So you can see both ended at the same percentages. And this is a really interesting graphic that I was like, oh, I'm going to throw this and design it, right? Because I'm going to put it into my talk because it's really interesting. You can see both, started at that, 100 mark and they both got to 160 by the end of the year. But look how they got there, right? Like, which one you want, right? Which one do you prefer? And this is how Sharp versus balanced max looks like in the background. You don't see it, but you might see it on those images that we generate when you do your portfolio. It shows like a PNG that you might see because we use using balanced max that some blue bars are huge, and those like little negative, right? Sharp max criterion just it'll balance that. It'll like stable that process, which is what I'm experimenting with. And I'm trying to see if it's something that we can include and make us better, right? Because the whole idea is like, what good is it that I make 20% in like 1 week, and then the next one I lose 10, and then the next one I lose 5, and then the next one I lose 2. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I never have. And that's why ever since day one, I've said to you guys, I'm super conservative in how I run my things because of this. I don't want this. I don't consider this a good trading plan. Like when you have like super high, super low, super high, like I don't like that. So Sharp max ratio is about that, finding that. And that's what I've been experimenting with. Okay. So why is it better than balanced max, right? So these are kind of the top things that I've, have seen in my testing so far. So I've been trying to get into prop firms to, get some extra money on the side and basically just pass them. So Sharp ratio will eliminate kind of that like spikes, right? You still have bad weeks, but it will eliminate and cap those losses now to like even shrink them more because of how it's optimizing from the beginning, right? So it's better with prop firms because you're not going to get a spike of like plus 10% and then next week minus 6% in 1 day, and then, or not 1 day, 1 week, and then you lose the account, right? So that was a big one for me. So people in this community and everyone in trading, but you can see it in this community because we're part of it more. People struggle with psychology a lot, right? I don't struggle that much. I used to, but this will bring the psychology level down, right? And what I mean by that is like people will be more calm, more relaxed, more understanding, right? Because if you don't have this, like up, down, up, down, 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 up, and you have more like, okay, well, up, down, 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 up, but like very subtle, right? That will create more psychological power to you and your mindset for saying like, well, okay, well, I didn't lose that much. It was losing weak, but I didn't lose 7%. I lost 700 or 1.5. You see what I mean? So that's really good for that. And everyone here, including myself, have suffered from this mindset issue. And you go look anywhere, it's the same story anywhere you go. It's not a taboo thing. It's actually well known. Everyone that is trading struggles with like psychology. Even the gurus that I've always watched these YouTube videos about gurus getting exposed, how it's all fake screenshots, fake everything. It's just like they suffer from those psychological things as well. So I think that's interesting, and this will bring that down, right? And that's what I wanted. I wanted to bring those emotions down for people, especially in our community. I don't care about people outside. I care about people in here because I am part of this. I'm using the same things you guys are, and I'm always trying to make it better. So psychological issues, mindset issues coming down. This is how that will play in that. A strategy, think about it. When you run automation, balance max, choosing the best strategies based on what? Profit. Auto sample could have 20% gains, and the back test forward test only had like 2%. That's not stable. Sharp ratio will eliminate that immediately. We'll say like that's terrible. That's not even consistent, right? And it will cut that. Highest profit, balance max will say this is perfect. All we care about is big numbers. And so this is it. We're going to run this. And then the software takes that and optimizes it and tries to make it better with the selections and the combinations. But then you still have the foundation being highest profit, balance max. So it's not going to be that good as it could be with sharp ratio. So everything just looks more stable. That's the whole idea here. Just trying to be more consistent, right? Like I mentioned, that's my goal too. I don't like having like huge spikes. Like I said, I hate that. I don't like that. And every time I see that, I just want to like scream and find something. And that's why I'm always here 24/7. You can ask my wife 24/7, just thinking of ideas. She sits right here in this couch and I tell her all that I'm doing. And so I'm always constantly thinking about this stuff. So, okay. So I think the last one here. Okay. Anyways, this is what I put, which is true, right? Balance max is luck. Really, it is luck. And from my testing so far, that's what I've been seeing. Sharp ratio gives you an edge. Again, our system already optimizes for sharp rate, ratios and stuff, but it's after, right? It's after we told MT5, hey, look for balance max best, right? And we're taking that and trying to like streamline it back into consistency. It's hard. It works. You've seen it works, but what if we could just start with the right foundation of sharp edge and just keep it the same level, right? We'll probably get better results. Is it true? Is it not? This is experimental, something that I'm testing with. So I just want to be clear that this is not in core automation yet. This is on my own personal testing, right? And this is what I believe it's going to help us even more, right? Like I've said before, there's not one thing. Like there's never going to be the time when I'm going to be sitting here and be like, guys, I have nothing to talk about because everything's perfect. We're all making 5% a month. I don't know what else to say. We should never have these again, right? You're never going to hear that because this is trading, and there's always one thing that you want to make better. And one thing that I've seen over the last 3 months is people, they struggle with, before it was, I don't know which set files to run. I don't know what, settings to choose. We fixed that. Then it was, I don't know if gold or FX should be the one that I'm trading. Then we fixed that and we provided the data. I don't know which parameters I should be testing. Then we gave it that one, right? So we've always been that, right? So now it's about, okay, how do we take what we have and we make it better? Every single time I'm thinking that. And this is what I think that will be the next thing. I'm still experimenting with it. I'm going to show you some of the results that I've gotten, but this is what I'm testing with, because we have to look inward sometimes as well, right? And we have to say, well, yeah, we built this on this foundation, but is the foundation right? we can always go back and do that. So this is what that is, right? And I just wanted to share that because I feel like it's very important that we're always moving forward and finding those consistency. Again, we don't want to have 10% week and then -5 and then -2 and then -3 after, right? We want to have 3% week and then 1% week and then 4% week and then -1% week, right? That sounds better to me and looks better to me, especially me trading live funds. I don't want that volatility and that inconsistency. So that's what's that, okay? So next, I am going to show you another slide. People probably hate slides, but this is what I explain myself better with, and I just throw my ideas, okay? Anyways, what have I been testing that with? I've been testing it with Core EA, and I've been testing it with Structure EA. What is Structure EA? I've been talking about it for the last 4 weeks on the channel, but I didn't want to share anything about it because like it's one of those things that I don't know, right? And I'm not going to be sharing something that I don't know. So before I became an algo trader, I used to trade trend lines. That's all I did. I did trend lines. I did super resistance, what everyone does, right? Anyways, I got into smart money concepts along that journey, and I was like, man, this works. It works, but you know, it's if you look at it on the internet, it's all fraud and like people are just scamming people and whatever. But the concept works, right? But what if you could have this into an EA? You can go on MQL5, you can go anywhere. There's going to be an EA about like, you know, this, but it's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in how we can exploit it with core automation with our system, right? Because that's the whole point. The EA on its own sucks. Any EA that you give me sucks. I don't care what it is. It sucks. It's terrible because it's not the fucking EA. I've said that many times. Sorry. Like I just get frustrated when people tell me, oh, I use this EA. Sorry for the, you know, cursing. It's just, I'm trying to get better at that. But it's just frustrating. Anyways, so core structure, it's just something I've kind of been coding in the background for the last 3 months, and it's just on my fundamental ideas of how trading is and how trading psychologically and structurally behaves. My belief, not like copying someone's belief or thinking, oh, I think this is how it works. No, my belief from my experience, from my foundation, from my 10 years, you know, looking at these charts, right? So I've run it for the last 3 weeks. Great results. Am I excited? No. And I know that's weird because I think I made like 12% or 10% over the last like 3 or 2 weeks, right? That's insane. But I'm not excited, right? Because I've learned in trading that you shouldn't get excited about anything, to be honest. Unless someone's giving you $1 million in cash, that's when you get excited. Anything else is just kind of, right? There's always an if or a but. So anyways, so this is basically how structure works, okay? And I'm going to show you live trades as well. This is just overview, right? We're looking at market direction. You know, core EA focuses on indicators and not zones specifically, right? But indicators of like EMA, RSI, BE, ADX, all that, ATR, right? It's more of a like different way. This is more like reading. It's like you're watching the chart, right? You're not watching the indicator. This is like totally different, which I think why it's good, because they complement each other. This one's like, I'm looking at it with my eyes, the chart. What's the market doing? Some people have no idea what the market's doing because they never sat and looked at a chart. They don't understand it, right? I spent 3 years manually trading, 4 almost, and looking at these things and understanding the behavior, right? So what it does, it reads the structure. What's happening? Multi-time frame analysis, right? Core EA already does multi-time frame analysis in a certain way because it's looking at like, okay, ADX is on the 1 hour, BB is on the 15-minute, right? It's already doing that, but this is more like structure. What's doing in the 4 hour? What's doing in the 1 hour? Let's get into the 1 minute, right? That's the whole idea. Looking at the higher structure, seeing what market structure is doing, looking at that time frame and seeing, okay, let's take advantage of that lower time frame and let's look at zones, right? So it's looking at supply and demand zones. It's looking at swing highs, swing lows. It's looking at retesting. It's looking at market invalidation. It's looking at confirmations. It's looking at trends. If we have like any type of like rejection candles on higher time frames, it's looking at different zones that it can target for profit. It's looking at how many times has that zone been touched for extra confirmation. A lot of crap, right? It's a lot of crap. And actually, what's interesting is it's about the same lines of code as Core EA, and Core EA has a lot more like like not technological, but technical and like different indicator combinations that like make it really hard to code. But this has about the same lines. So as far as like complexity, is about the same. So let me show you this. So it's just like, where's the market going? We're using swing highs, we're using lows, we're using higher high, higher lows, all that stuff to identify where the market's going. Market's going sideways, it's not really trading anything, right? And that has to do with the algorithmic behind of like what's considered a bullish versus a bearish trend. That's really hard to code. You can say it, oh yeah, this is bullish, this is easy, but how do you code that? How do you like, how do you make sure that's correct, right? That's really hard. That's something that a system, it's really hard to code in, because visually it makes sense to you, if it makes sense to me, but really it's really hard, when a computer is trying to like understand what it is. So this is what that is, okay? It's just kind of showing the structure. Supply and demand zones, kind of same thing, right? How is it? How do you code it? How do you understand it? And how does it make sense to the computer, right? Not because one time it touched there, right? One time it touched there doesn't mean that it's just going to be a support zone, right? Different things, different types of knowing how the market moves. This is kind of like how it works, but not really. This is a very simple overview, just so you understand it. We're looking at we're looking at structure on the higher time frame. We're looking at demand zones. We're looking at zones like higher high, higher lows. We're looking at candle formations. We're looking at retests, right? So we're looking for price to come back and retest a certain area, and then we're getting in on the lower time frame, targeting those higher time frames areas. Pretty simple, right? Minimum 1.5 RR. And most of the trades that I've taken in the last 3 weeks have been like 3.5 RR, which is insane because we're targeting those areas. And I like to see it as a swing approach, to be honest. And honestly, it's working for me as far as that, because it's more like, oh, like I got in a trade like at 7 a.m. and then it's just one trade at a time. And then I'll just go about my day. It's like, oh, 8 p.m. still on the trade, So it can take like 1-2 days. But the rewards is what matters here, right? We're paying that consistency. And this is all, again, related to Sharpe ratio as well. It goes hand in hand. All right. So obviously we have trading stop. We have protection, because sometimes what happens is it goes 1-2% and then all the way back down, right? We don't want that. We're trading because this is retest. We're looking at zones. We're looking at confirmations. We know when the market's most likely to, retest or break that zone. If it breaks that zone, it's invalid. Why the hell we're going to hold it, right? So looking at all of that, it's very smart, right? So we're looking at zones using protection, using those zones as protection, which makes sense. If it breaks, it's not going to go anywhere. Why are we in the trade, right? Same thing. We're targeting the next swing or next zone, just actual levels on those higher time frames, not just like random, oh, I think it's going to go here, kind of thing. When the price is moving in your favor, the price moves right with that trailing to make sure that we're capturing as much as we can without like actually like asphyxiating the trade. Again, what I said, if it flips midway, break structure, we're out. It's no question. There's no need to hold that, right? It's going to range. It's going to turn around. Don't matter. Okay. So this is basically what I put, because this is true, right? And I want you to visualize it, how it is. We're using signal sources and core EA in most of the A's in the market, right? Indicators, RSI, ADX, BV, EMAs, all that. We're entering on pips, right? Offsets and delay trade sequence and all that. And that's fine. We've seen it work. It's worked, right? That's why I made this red, because I wanted to show you that, yeah, like this is what we have, but this is what structure is, right? Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just for it to differentiate. So you can differentiate it because we've proven core EA 3 years at this point, right? So that's not bad. I'm just showing you the difference. I was like, oh, maybe I should use like orange, but yeah. Anyways, core structure. It's a price structure in itself. 4 hour, 1 hour, 1 day, right? We're looking at zones where orders are already piling up. Like institution, retail traders are piling up their orders. You can see it gets wicked out. Those are fun to watch, right? Um, we're looking at those real market levels, essentially, how the market moves. That's really hard for you to see. It's easy for you to understand and code. It's really hard. So that's what it is, right? Anyways, let the EA read the structure, trade the zones, and basically the EA does all that, right? It's not perfect yet. I must advise you because it's taken me a while to understand market, right? You can say, oh yeah, I know what a trend market is. I know what it, but it's more than that. And once you get into the levels that I've gotten of depth, it's there's always going to be something. Anyways, so that's that. Now I just want to show you some of the things here that oh, I have to open my VPS. Oh, there's another thing. So we're releasing our own VPS because I was paying so goddamn much for my VPS here that I was like, man, I need to create my own VPS, buy our own server, and just give that really affordable to people. Because, like, man, I was paying like $80 a month to run my EA. That's ridiculous. Like, because I had like, I think it was like 6 gigs of RAM or something. I don't know. It was good. I want it to be good. My EA is running there. Like, my money's being traded there. I don't want it to be like bad, If you get a bad EA or a bad VPS to run your EA, it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be having problems. I don't want that. So, anyways, that's something that we're releasing soon here. Let me see here. There we go. I just connected to my VPS here. Anyways, this is the core VPS. It will come with like everything installed. You can like auto update the apps and stuff. That's not ready now though. Also monitors your MT5. So if like there's a crash or something or an MT5 or server, it automatically reboots your MT5 back in and you're still managing the trade, right? That's fucking annoying. Like, when you're like out of town, you're like, oh, wait, what? My BPS was out and I was in a trade negative and I'm negative 20%, right? Like, that won't happen because we're always monitoring it. Okay. Anyways, let's see here. Let me see. I want to show you here. Oh, this was my Forex this week. I posted a screenshot. We had 3 trades, I believe. Yes, so we had 4 trades. We had 4 trades. This was Core Labs Aussie Yen, BBADX on Sydney, and pound dollar. I don't remember what pound dollar was on. Let me see. ADX stuck London. That's what that was. Anyways, about 1%, not bad, right? Considering. And then let me see here. Okay, so this is the core structure. So I'm gonna show you this in a different way. Okay, there we go. All right. So core structure. This is core structure. So from beginning of this month, that's when I started it. I made 10.8%, right? That's insane. Not excited though, because anything can happen and I'm just testing, to be honest with you. Main pairs that I'm using is euro dollar and pound dollar. That's pretty much it. I haven't done anything else because I need to focus on one thing at a time. I can't be like gold and FX and like that's not. Anyways, I'm going to show you here some of the trades. Okay, so I'm going to show you, these are banger trades. Like, you can see the big trades and you can see small wins because that's if the market reverses or something, we're already protected. That's the whole idea here. I mean, we have a 1 loss this week with negative $5.50. So anyways, let me just show you this trade. So where is it? Did I go? Oh, I just double click it, right? No. How do I get to that trade? 413. Let's see. Okay, so I see it's right here. Okay, 413. right here, this trade. Okay, so let's look at it on a different time frame here, so you can see the type of trade there is. Okay, so this was the trade, right? So if you look, I don't have my tools here. Sorry. Updates, horizontal line. Okay. So that's when the trade happened, right? If you look at that, right? If you look at it on a higher time frame, you see that? You see these? You see these? That's what I'm talking about. So this is the 30-minute. You can see wicked rejection. We went through it, wicked rejection. We held that level again. We have a gap. We're obviously going to fill that gap, right? So looking at a lot of things, right? Anyways, you can see the rejection here of this, and then we took the trade. If you look at a higher time frame event, you can see the same thing. Look, oh, oops. You can see it's just rejection, boom. It's hovering around that trend line, right? And then we're looking at market structure. What is it doing? It's a lot of things. I'm just showing you kind of the trades here, right? And how long did this trade take to play? You can see 413 and it closed out at 414. So that was about a 10-hour trade. Yeah. So that was a pretty long trade, but you get the point, right? If you look at any other trade, look, same thing, right? So same thing here. This is 1 hour. You can see that it's kind of the same idea, right? So horizontal line. It's looking at levels. Look, if you go left, look, these are levels. You see it's like bouncing off. It's respecting kind of that level. So we're looking at those levels. And when we're looking at these levels, our stop loss is pretty simple, right? This is our, oh my God, I don't know if I have my shapes here. Okay. So when you're looking at these levels, what's your stop loss? This is kind of the area that we're looking at, right? For stopping, because this is the 1 hour, we haven't even been down here, right? So this will be our stop loss down here. And that's just basically the trade. It's pretty simple to be seen, really hard to understand and to code, but that's just kind of how it works. You can see the different trades here. This short right here, this was 5281, you can see. So again, it's just different trades, looking at market structure. If we go down to the lower time frame, you can see here, right? So this is a good example of leaving the trade. You can see here, we got into the trade for a buy. Rejection. We're gonna go up, but we got probably a candle cancellation here from the higher time frame. We're like, yeah, we're not going up, right? So we got out of the trade, right? And then look what happened. We went down. So system works, because it's protecting those trades that are going against you. Same thing here. Look, right? So we took a buy, right? And our stop loss, and I don't know this, I'm just reading the price action. It was probably down here. Like if you look at these areas, it was probably down here. If you go left, right? If you go on a higher time frame, you're going to be able to see like these touches right here. So you can see that trade right here. The system worked, right? Because look, we got in here, went down here. We're still within our stop loss limit. We went back up, right? That was not even 1% though. So we didn't lock that, right? But then we just started hovering, going side. We come down here. We didn't hit our stop loss. We went back up, touched this area, right? Look at the price, this area. And then we just come back down and we basically got away with a break even. And then guess what happened? It went back down. So you see what I mean? It's those levels. And then this is a massive trade. Like, look at this, right? Like that's a crazy trade. But anyways, that's the idea here. Another trade, you see, like it's the same theory. It's just looking at those zones, looking at market structure. What are we doing? What's the volume? What time is it? Where's the swing high, swing low? Can we target this area? Is it too far? Is it not too far? Those are the type of things we're asking ourselves. Not me, but the program, right? The EA. And you can see like, let me just put a custom period here. So the first week of April, just want to break it down even smaller. We did, is this the first week? Let me just make sure. 4, 5. Yeah. So the first week of April, excuse me, we did 6.9%. We had all winners. Like there's not a single loser on this list. $41, 3.1%. $56, 3.6%. Right. You can see here euro dollar with a banger. Euro dollar, and you can see like euro dollar had a 3.6, pound dollar had a 3.1, and the other ones were euro dollar $41. Like that's just protection. When you get a small loss or win like that, that's just kind of the market's just not going, it's ranging, or it's just not gonna go in that direction. So might as well get out. And then this last week, we did, how much did we do this last week? 3.9%, right? So we just got a banger of a pound dollar trade, 3.9%, and then we got a $30 trade and a minus $5 trade. Again, same thing, right? So this is promising. And again, this is with the sharp edge ratio testing, right? Because I don't care, like you can see like it bangs a lot, but I don't care about like 1 week having 20%, the next one being negative 15. That doesn't, I rather have 5% week and then 3% week. You see what I mean? So that's the whole idea here, is to test this alongside with the theory of sharp ratio. And then eventually, if this is yielding results, obviously this will be available for you guys to trade. And then the same theory will be implemented into core EA and core automation. See what I mean? I have the beta tools. I'm not going to release that obviously because that's a bunch of like different stuff that I have to do, and there's a bunch of errors and people are going to be asking about the errors. So I don't want to do that to myself right now, but this is what I've been working on. Now, as far as ETAs on this, I don't have an ETA, right? I'm just testing nonstop. Like I'm using my farm of 5 computers in my inner room over there that have like a stack of farm of 5 PCs, mini PCs, and I'm just testing nonstop, right? And seeing what I can run and having different terminals for live testing for sharp ratio versus balance max versus pound dollar, euro dollar. I'll eventually get to gold, but not now. I need to make sure this actually works logically, right? If the theory makes sense. I'm looking at these trades, like when the week's over, I'm like, that's such a good trade. Look at the zones, look at the market structure, right? So the theory works. It's just like, what do we optimize? Do we optimize every week? Do we optimize by sharp ratio? Those are the questions that I'm asking myself and seeing if this is something long term. One last thing before we get out of here. Core library. Core library, I was not even going to talk about this, but core library is just a hand platter set files given to you. This, to be honest with you guys, this is probably going to be a different type of like audience, because this is mostly for people that don't want to test. A lot of people don't really want to test. They don't really care about testing. I love it because I'm a nerd with data, right? But most people just want to like go in there, like, just give me what works, and then just go in there, right? And then that's it. That's why people love plug and plays and they spend hundreds of dollars on them. So core library is something that I'm beginning to test. It's very simple. It's a program. I'll go back here. It's a program that you will basically open up, and you'll get to choose your FX or gold, whatever you're trading that week or whatever you want. And basically it will show you kind of the data on the set file for that week. So every week our system automatically will test the best strategy, and it will upload them to this software, which then you can basically, like, I don't know if I want to do it right now. Let me see. So I'll show you how it works real quick. I don't know which, okay, terminal 2. Let me just see here. So terminal 2, I just want to make sure this is the right one. Okay, let's see. Terminal. Okay. Let me see which terminal is this so you guys can see it. Okay. This is a testing terminal that I've been doing. Okay. So let's remove this. So I'll show you this. So this is really cool. Again, this is not going to be for everyone, but it's going to be a different subscription. It's going to be a different audience target, right? But basically, you're going to get all the proven set files for that week. You don't have to do any testing. No testing. The system will automatically test. You'll get to choose again if you want FX or gold to trade. You'll choose gold, for example, and then you're going to see you can see up here it says Sunday, April 12th. That's kind of the week that just passed. And it shows you, hey, for this week, this is what, the strategy is. Okay, so this is the strategy. There's a button down here that says deploy to MT5. So you click that. Oh, no set files. Sorry. I don't think I've updated it. But once you will click, let me see, no set files, no upload files via admin. Okay, let me just close the app and reopen it. But basically what will happen is it will install everything for you on your MT5. You don't have to do anything, which is, that's kind of what it is. It's just kind of simple. That's the point. It's for people that don't want to test or don't have the resources to test. Because it's something that's time consuming, right? To test. And this app will just do that for you. You don't have to test. Everyone can download them. It's a randomizer. So it's a seed randomizer that takes the set files that the system uploads and changes parameters slightly. So not everyone enters at the same time. Not everyone has the same target profits. Not everyone has the same entries. It has delays and all that. So everyone, yes, will be using the same set file in that sense, but it'll be different entries. And so you won't get flag. That's the whole point. If you're using like prop firms or something, you won't get flag. That's the whole idea. I don't think it's going to work because I haven't uploaded this week because the system hasn't tested. It probably started testing today. So once the system tests, like as you saw on the screen before, it will just put the set files here, and then you can just deploy it. Actually, let me see if I can override this manually, and then I can just show you how it works, because I think it's something that's going to be really good for, again, it's going to be a different subscription. It's going to be a different type of audience because not everyone wants to test, like I said. But it's going to be there as an option, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be using myself because I don't, I like testing, but I like testing to give you guys options, not to like for myself to trade. See what I mean? So I want to do this so I can just like click one thing and then let it just automatically populate for me. That's the whole idea here. So let me just try to like open this real quick so you guys can see it and see what you think. Okay, I have it here. Let me just upload one thing real quick. I'll just upload a random set file so you guys can see it. Okay, so let's see, euro pound. Okay, so I am going to stock London. Okay. All right, let's see here. AX80 London. Okay, so I have it here. It's going to be for effects. I'm going to hit upload file. This is just manually overwriting it so you guys can see it here. And basically, so I'm going to sign out. Usually it takes a little bit. Sign out, come back in. Then you can see it says one set file now. So here we go. Okay, it's just a random set file, by the way. It's not. Okay, so now I would just hit deploy all to MT5, right? So once I hit that, right, you can see the strategy, you can see whatever. It's going to be multiple set files, right? So you're going to be able to show you like a combination window, but for now it's just testing. Deploy to MT5, you can see it says downloading, see it deploy, you can see it installed everything, the EA. If you don't have to do anything, like even if you like just did this subscription brand new, you just have to like do that. The software will install and move things. You don't have to download anything anymore. So I'm to open MT5, and then basically it's just gonna open the MT5 terminal that we linked at the beginning, and of course there's an update, MetaTrader MT5 update, and now it's just gonna install everything. And once you open MT5, it's just gonna be linked everything already with that set file, randomized with different parameters than other people that are gonna be downloading that same set file. And then that way you don't have to do anything essentially. Um, so yeah, that's the whole idea here. I think we have to do it again because MT5 did an update and that messed us up. Yeah. So I just want to make sure we do it so you guys can see it. Hopefully no more updates on MT5. Okay. All right. And again, this is all testing still, but that's the whole idea here. Here you go. So you can see, boom, everything's loaded already. I don't have to do anything. You can see that the EA is already there. You can see algo trading turn on by itself. I just did it right now as I was moving my mouse. And that's it. You don't have to do anything. You walk away. That's it. Done. There's nothing for you to do. So yeah, that's the new product that I'm working on. This way, you know, we're able to target different type of people that just want plug and play and stuff. This is going to be for those people. And it's going to be updated every week. All you have to do is open the app and just basically do that. So anyways, that concludes my whole spiel here. And like I said, core structure not available right now. And basically that will conclude everything that I wanted to talk, especially this, which was the biggest thing, was just to really nail down on this, which was the most important part. So I'm going to continue testing. Again, you can always keep track of my testing if you use the core labs under the core engine tab. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah, I do have it here. So let me see. I just want to make sure that I'm able to show you. Yes. So you can always keep track of what I'm testing on our core engine. So you can see here some of the things that I'm testing. I have, I think, 4 computers right now. And yeah, so you can always keep track of that and stuff that I'm doing. But yeah, I'm just throwing stuff in there. I'm seeing what works and what doesn't. And yeah, those are the kind of the updates that I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys have any additional questions or anything that you want to share, you can always DM me on Discord, or you can just post it on the channel. I can try to reply to you. But yeah, I know that there were some people here that left. A lot of people messaged me, they couldn't make it. They had stuff going on, but anyone that's here have any questions, let me know before we wrap this up. Let's close this. Okay. All right, no questions. All right, well, if you guys think of anything after watching this, just let me know, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend ahead.